This is a certified VoroAMI classic. DC Comics is home to many sensational characters from Batman all the way to Harley Quinn and Big Barda. But there's one witty hero we're going to be talking about today, and his name is Wallywest, aka the original Kid Flash and Third Flash. Coming in at a 94 overall rating, Wallywest is one of the greatest heroes DC has to offer and one of their best developed characters too. Still watching the video? Make sure to hit the thumbs up for your boy and subscribe to the channel. Also hit that bell notification to be notified on new videos. Now let's yap about the Flash being a certified wisecracker and one of the GOATs of DC Comics. The first piece we'll be talking about for the Flash is his origin and character. Wally was created back in Flash number 110 in 1959 by John Broome and Carmen Infantino. Originally a fanboy of the Flash, Barry Allen, Wally would end up getting his speed powers the exact same way as his uncle Barry, and on that day he became the original Kid Flash, and bro even got a much better suit later on. As Kid Flash, Wally quickly became one of the most popular sidekicks and characters of his time, becoming a founding member of the Teen Titans and being a part of what's easily the most iconic version of the roster, aka the new Teen Titans series. These groundbreaking achievements wouldn't be the most famous moments about Wally though, as in the year 1986, Wally became the new version of the Flash after his mentor, the previous Flash, Barry Allen, gave his life to save the entire multiverse during a Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline. Now this was a big deal, y'all. It was unheard of for a major character to die off and be replaced by his former protege, and man, did it change the landscape forever in DC Comics. Now this brings us to his character growth, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, early Wally Flash is an absolute asshole. I'm talking about 1997 Shawn Michaels, Karl Malone, and current Kanye West type asshole. Bro had questionable statements about women, talked mad shit to his homies, and ops alike, a sleazeball, the power girl, and an absolute steal your girl menace. Like bro took a 32-year-old Tina McGee away from her husband, aka CRASHOUTS Speed Demon, and homie was really thinking nothing was gonna happen from doing this horrendous thing, man. Yes, I know Speed Demon is for what he did to Tina, but Wally ain't shit for being in an affair with Tina McGee as well. Wally was nothing like Barry in personality when he first became the Flash, but that's what made him become such an endearing character as time progressed with each story. Wally learned that being a hero, he had to set examples and do the best he could to follow Jay and Barry's footsteps as the Scarlet Speedster. And when Linda Park pulled up to the scene, oh man, it was a game changer for Wally. She beat all the sexist and crazy shit that Wally used to say in earlier stories out of his system, and it helped transform him into the man that he is today in DC Comics. Then there's the stories, and man, I'd argue that Wally had the best stories as the Flash. Wally's stories explored many pathways such as abuse from his father and mother, striving up to save said abuser, working with others and his teammates, daring rescues, following in the footsteps of his predecessors, and then storylines like Return of Barry Allen, the infamous story where we not only got the Barry Allen return twist, but the iconic Eeyore Thawne obsession origin. It was also in this story that Wally finally removed his mental block he had to prevent himself from surpassing Barry. And when he did, oh man, y'all, he had Thawne looking like the Ed, and Eddie brothers after one of their ass whoopings. And this story here cemented Wally as Barry's rightful heir to the Flash mantle. The Drippiest Flash designs. There's been many Flash designs over the years, but I gotta say, Wally's Flash costumes have all been absolutely fire. My bro always came in with the Drippiest costumes. Just look at his 90s costume with the white eyes. It's too perfect. This design became so iconic, it's been used in many forms of media and animations for the Flash, not just for Wally, but also for Barry Allen too. The Rebirth costume is an absolute banger too, and his 2000 suit is peak fashion. His 2010 and 2021 costumes go hard too, though his current suit in the comics, that is trash, bro. Then there's groundbreaking changes that occurred during Wally's tenure as the Flash. Wally's run introduced the Speed Force, which has become a staple in DC Comics and is used to fight any toxic power scaler out there who believes the Flash ain't all that when he really is. The Flash family, Eeyore Thawne's twisted origin, Savitar, the evolution of the Rogues as characters, the Twin Cities, Keystone, and Central City both being focal points at the same time, the term Lightning Rod, Bart Allen, like so many sensational concepts and characters were implemented during Wally's time as the Flash that were not only popular with his era, but became popular in today's time too, most being used in the CW show. Many of the things that were introduced during his time have been used in pieces of Flash adaptations like the Black Flash, Rogues like Murmur and Magenta, aka his girlfriend, Cobalt Blue, and much much more. Number 5. Wally being a generational wisecracker. And what I mean by this is bro can talk his shit during a battle. He's one of the GOATs when it comes to flaming an opponent out there. And there's been many great talkers over the years. Wally is indeed one of them. Wally don't care who you are. Batman, he'll flame you. The rogues, he'll flame you. A petty thief, say no more. A jabroni that stole a kid's lollipop, yeah, he's gonna be on you like hot water and rice. Wally's charismatic personality has become such an integral part of his character that many casual fans who like TheFlash always believe TheFlash should be a jokester who clowns his opponents, and it's all thanks to what Wally's version of TheFlash did for the character. And people who say the DC animated universe version of Wally is not actual Wally's personality, they need to go check out Justice League International, Justice League Europe, his Flash run, and GLA, because that is indeed Wally's personality with Barry's origin. He was the Flash for a whole generation. When it comes to generations of people, there are many versions of media that people love. There are people who love the old school 90s and 2000s rap. There are people that love the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression era of WWE. There are people who love the video games from the early 2000s and the movies from that time too. Then there are generations of people who adore Wally as the Flash due to his dominance as the main version of the character for most of the late 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Wally was the Flash in everything around this time. Flash and Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, Static Shock, Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, Justice League Heroes, Batman Unlimited, Kid Flash and Teen Titans, Brave and the Bold, and Young Justice. Wally was not only one of the most popular and influential characters during this time period, but bro had many spectacular moments. For example, we all know about the time when the Flash went God mode and turned Brainiac Luthor into Steely Dan. I dare say that this is the greatest Flash moment of all time. Bro cut loose and just started shredding into Luthor like a pissed off anime main character. This moment here was so iconic that the move has been referenced many times in other pieces of media, like the games, the shows, and the movies. Wally was also one of the biggest selling characters for DC and comics as a whole during this time. Superman, Batman, Nightwing, and the Green Lantern, known as Hal Jordan, were really his only competitors when it came to how big he was as a seller back in the 2000s. And when he was briefly removed from the Flash title, folks crashed out, which resulted in him returning a year later, though to the detriment of Bart Allen, his successor, who got packed up badly, bro. Bro was a pop culture icon during the 2000s. Thanks to adaptations like Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, Wally's version of the Flash was cemented as a generational character loved by many. And there were many times where he was referenced outside the comics. Here's one of the GOATs of wrestling, aka Rey Mysterio, cosplaying as the Flash at WrestleMania 20 during the height of Wally's reign as the Flash. The Simpsons, Addie's Daycare, Bing Bang Theory, and that time he was one of many heroes locked up in a Spawn comic. A Spawn comic, y'all. Bro had many old YouTube AMVs over him and countless movies and video games that were planned for him during the 2000s. Did you know that the Flash was so big at this time that they actually tried getting Ryan Reynolds to play the character? Isn't that crazy how things work out? Ryan was originally going to play a red costume speedster with double W initials in 2004, but ended up playing another double W initialed character with a red costume 12 years later in 2016 by the name of Deadpool in Marvel Comics. That's wild, y'all. Wally was going to be played by the late actor Anton Yelchin in the canceled 2008 movie Justice League Mortal, and he had a video game plan for release in that same year where he would have been voiced by Ryan Reynolds. Isn't this crazy to y'all, man? Like, so many stuff could have happened, man, if all this stuff came out with the Flash back then. Bro is a certified dog like Spider-Man, and there are countless others out there too. And what I mean by this is Wally has been a chick magnet over the years. His most iconic love interest has been Linda Park, but he's had many countless others too. Magenta, Artemis, Jessie Quick, Power Girl, Honor Troy, Tina McGee, Raven, Jinx, Omen, Sister Superior, Fire, and Giganta, and Justice League Unlimited. Wally is that guy too. Bro might have been a clown in his earlier years when it came to women, but definitely learned how to be better, and it's helped out in many of his iconic relationships. His removal from the New 52 had folks crashing out. When the New 52 came out, a lot of fans were curious to see what DC was planning with the new change and scared that it might remove beloved stories and characters, and boy were they right, because there were many iconic characters that were removed, and Wallywest was one of them. Barry Allen was the only Flash and heroic speedster around, and while Barry is that guy too, many fans were rightfully agitated at Wally's absence during the New 52. Wally successfully transformed into an all-star talent had iconic and beloved adaptations over the years, and his stories really helped transform the Flash into what it is today. So when Wally got removed, it became the third Chernobyl war in the fan base, and when Wally got a replacement with no similarities to his OG character, it became World War III. And Wally finally made a spectacular return during the 2016 DC Rebirth event. Fans were geeking out of their seats, and DC Comics were selling like crazy during this time too, all because Wally had made his triumphant return. Like, folks out there cannot say Wally isn't a generational character, because his return had people from all around checking DC Comics again. Flash Rebirth, Titans Rebirth were going off in sales. Wally will always be that guy. Wally took the meaning of being called the Flash to the next level, and what I mean by this is bro became the personification of speed. Any crazy feat that you ever heard about the Flash, it was most likely done by Wallywest. Outrunning the Black Flash, aka Death, to the end of time, it was done by Wally. Running faster than instant teleportation, Wally. Infinite mass punch, Wally. Evacuating a city in 0.001 microseconds, Wallywest. Moving so fast he phased out of his own story, Wally. Running faster than the Speed Force itself, Wallywest. Becoming a literal god on a Mobius chair, Wallywest again. Like, Wally not only became the fastest Flash of all time during his tenure, he also became the most broken one too, and the fastest character in DC. And just think about that, y'all. It's always the most charismatic characters out there who are the most dangerous when they decide to lock in. It's amazing, to be honest. Wally once raced to the end of time just to return a stolen lollipop for a girl. He don't play around at all with the folks in the city. Next is folks crashing out over Wally's death twice. Wally is a beloved character to many fans, so when this man got packed up, Heroes in Crisis back in 2018, it had folks going crazy. Shit, it had me saying stuff like this.
No! Why are you doing that? That's my guy!
I was like, y'all saw the amount of hype that generated around this man's return in 2016, and then decided to kill him 2 years later. But you see, this turned out to be a fake out, as they ended up having the homie delete nearly everyone that was at the compound with him, like he's Itachi from Naruto. Like, this shit had fans tweaking out, like Tsunami every time he sees Tanjiro, and I was definitely one of them. And there was Wally's tragic death in Young Justice. And I'm not gonna lie, after Wally's death, a lot of niggas really stopped messing with the show. There were some amazing stories that took place in future episodes, but folks stopped caring about the show like that, especially when they realized Buddy was never ever gonna be on the show unless it was him as a tease or after image. At least in the case with the comics, that's been rectified and he's now back as the Flash. But Buddy was really getting bullied by DC during the 2010s for being one of their most popular characters. Lastly, Wally being a certified G in the community and his push as the main Flash again. Like many characters out there, Wally is a G and is down with many characters in the universe. Bro is best buds with Nightwing and anyone from his generation like Starfire and Cyborg. He's tight with Superman and Wonder Woman. Fun fact, he's the Flash that Diana has teamed up with the most in DC. He's tight with Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner, and John Stewart Green Lanterns. Bro's even tight with his enemies. I'll never forget the time Wally talked the Trickster out of a dangerous situation and promised him to play darts with him when he sees him in the hospital, or the time he talked Heatwave out of detonating a bomb. Wally didn't have to use violence like a certain hero, especially his Arkham counterpart. You're still the GOAT, by the way, Batman. All he had to do was sit down and yap with them. Generational talent, man. Wally's impact as the Flash can still be felt in many ways from the countless comics and medias he continues to appear in today, to the many times where his Flash is picked over other versions of the Flash in polls, and the fact that the absolute version of the Flash starring Wally is already drawing crazy numbers for DC, man. Wallywest is one of the GOATs of DC Comics. His character growth, supporting cast, villains, adaptations, pop culture references is one of the reasons why he's still a beloved character to this day. Wally's stories sometimes face harsh realities like abuse, suicide, the failure of saving someone, or being too late to stop a tragic event, but being fast enough to stop the next event. Long story short, the Flash is him and one of the best characters out there. Definitely hope to see him in the DCU one day. Yeah, but you guys let me know your thoughts on the Flash, man. Is he that guy to y'all, man? He definitely is to me, man. But yeah, if y'all enjoyed the video, consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. I also have a DC playlist that features my older DC videos, as well as a Marvel playlist, a Ben 10 playlist, and an anime playlist, man. We also got that Discord link now, man, so make sure to go into the description box and you'll see it, man. I also have an Instagram if y'all want to follow on there, as well as a TikTok. And yeah, I hope y'all continue having a nice week, and I'll catch y'all for the next video. VoroAMI out.